in the global media network.
So first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Jayavant. It was really helpful because I was given a slot straight after lunch, and I thought it's gonna be the most difficult slot, but thank you so much for cheering the atmosphere. Okay, let's make a start. So in morning, we have had a fireside chat with Super Cop, and he mentioned about rules and regulations. So just to put the perspective in that sense, I represent an industry which is the most compliant and one of the most regulated industries in the world, and that is the pharmaceutical industry. Now, if I may ask you a question, how many of you like to take medicines? Okay, maybe I asked the wrong question, sir, you like it? Really? Okay, okay. I should be asking how many of you would have taken any medicine, right, during your lifespan so far? How many of you? Okay, so every one of us, right, in form of vaccine, or we have taken medicines, taken treatments, right? So pharmaceutical industry is inevitable. It's a part of our lives. Now, when we say about pharmaceutical industry, I would divide it into two segments. First is a generic industry. So we are all exposed with companies like Cipla and Glenmark and Dr. Reddy's. We are based out of Hyderabad. Everyone know that. And the generic industry, right, has made a significant mark on the world. And your paracetamols, your lot of anti-infectives, your azithromycin, right, all these tablets you take, pantoprazole, all these are part of generic industry. But today, I am going to represent the another part of the industry, right, which is the innovative treatments. Fortunately, we are living in the country which is the most young countries of the world. Let's give a big round of applause for that. We are living in India, right, where we represent the youth, what we call as Gen Z population, and that is going, if you make a pie chart, that will be the significant amount. But if you compare it with the other sides of the world, with the West, the population is more old, right? The population is aging, and when the population is aging, there is emergence of more complex diseases, which requires complex treatments, rise in cancers, right? Rise in obesity, diabetes capital. Most of the countries, even in India, it is becoming diabetes capital. We are reading in news everywhere, Wegovy, a treatment which is all over the news, right? So obesity treatment. Now this innovative treatment, I am going to represent that today. Now when it comes to innovative treatment, right, it has to go through a series of clinical trials, right? It needs to be tested. And what makes pharmaceutical industry more interesting is every country in the world has its own set of regulations, has its own sets of bodies, right, who govern the entire regulatory processes around it. And that makes the dynamic even more difficult. So in order to sell in one country, the data and the evidence you need, it's very different from the another country. And that makes access to innovative treatments even more challenging. So that's where India, unfortunately, has not left a significant mark. We, despite having a lot of research institutes, we have not been able to put a single innovative treatment on a global platform. It's a debatable topic, right? But what we have done good in terms of India, right, that's what we are going to discuss about. That India has put ourselves on a global map with the global capability centers, and that's where I'm going to give you a glimpse of it. And since there are a lot of academicians sitting in the forum, I would also like to highlight how we can prepare to ride this wave of GCCs effectively in India going forward. What are the future perspectives for students, for professionals who wants to be a part of GCCs? Okay, so before I get into the topic, okay, this is not working. To the next slide. Okay, cool. Sure. So brief introduction about me. I am Mihir Pujari. I am part of a very young, very dynamic startup which is based out of Hyderabad called AdametNext, and you can see our name over here and on the name of presentation itself. We started with just one employee in 2019, and currently we have 50 plus employees, all with a life sciences background and based out of Financial District, Hyderabad. I have total 15 years of pharma experience. I started with consulting and have worked in organizations like Novartis, Cipla, Glenmark, and currently I am leading one of the important role at AdametNext. Now let's come to GCCs. So I think how many of you is aware of a term called GCC? I think yesterday, whosoever was present, there was a panel discussion and the experts share a lot of perspective about GCC. So GCC, the full form is Global Capability Centers. And Hyderabad is becoming a epicenter of GCCs, right? So you might have heard Novartis is the one which we have in Hyderabad from past around 15 to 20 years. But right now, if you have seen, Sanofi has recently opened their Global Capability Center. Amgen, you might, if you are passing through In-Orbit Mall, they have their big hoarding over there. So Amgen, one of the key biotechnology, biotherapy player, has set up their GCC center in Hyderabad, and a lot of other companies are coming. Example, Lilly recently has announced. So all these are global pharmaceutical companies. They cater to innovative treatments. And an innovative treatment almost take 10 to 15 years to come to the market and requires almost around $1 to $1.5 billion of investment. Right, so almost if you say it starts with 3,000 sort of compounds, so more than that, and then out of that the success rate is 1%, right? So it goes through a lot of stages. I won't go in detail, but it takes 10 to 15 years from those 3,000 compounds or the initial assets to one final innovative treatment to come to the market, right? And considering this complexity, whosoever is managing this innovative asset requires hell amount of data, requires lot of data, requires lot of evidence to make the right decisions. So example, in layman term, right, what these GCCs are doing actually sitting out in Hyderabad, if I put that in very simple perspective, example, you have to make Hyderabadi biryani, okay, at home. And I'll tell you that you have to go and procure every ingredient from the market, check whether it's fresh, whether it's compliant, whether it's good to have it, bring it, arrange it, and then also develop the SOP, the recipe, how to make it, and then start making it. It becomes a lengthy process, tedious process, and you might lose interest as well. You don't have this much of time. So that's what GCC does. GCC gives all the required ingredients to the director who is going to make a series of directors country-wise who is going to take this important decisions about making this treatment accessible to patient. So they give them all the ingredients required and they give them a standard SOP that they can refer to in terms of what amount of ingredients, what is the step, how much quantity to add, right? So everything they give to them so that they can take the right decision, data-driven decisions. So that's very important work that is happening right from Hyderabad, from Bangalore, and as you can see, the total number of GCCs in India is going to surpass almost 1700 GCCs and going to create, almost it has created around 70,000, 80,000 jobs, but within next 2 to 3 years, with the plans that they have, they are going to create 1.5 million jobs in India. Itself is a big achievement. So far, no other country is a go-to place for these GCCs to set up this huge infrastructure. Now, what's more important from an academia side, unfortunately, we are living in a country where there are lots of pharmacy colleges. I think in Telangana, I was interacting with Task, somebody from Task, right? So around more than 150, 160 colleges across Telangana offering pharmacy courses. But somehow the curriculum has not matched to the standard, right? And there are a lot of bombardment of information. So I have done my B.Pharm and I used to have almost more than 17, 18 subjects, right? And in order to finish the entire syllabus, it was very hard to keep the pace. Second thing is, I think a lot of people talk about internship and then their focus on internship. Right now, colleges are doing that. But however, I feel that there is a need, there is an immense need, because a lot of policy makers are there, a lot of education institutes are there. There is a need that in order to facilitate that industry-academia linkage, we need to have certain courses, right, which is led by, which is driven by corporate, and that is a part of the curriculum for students to take as an optional subject, right, based on their choice. Somebody might be choosing an AI, somebody might be choosing something else based on their interest. So these kind of courses, which can be taken by the corporate people, right, but it's a part of their curriculum. And then colleges can make a mandate that you need to have at least 2 or 3 optional courses as per your choice to be taken in a particular semester or throughout the course. This is where I think we can prepare the next pharma generation to be equipped with GCCs, right? Our founder of AdametNext, Virendra Kumar, he says very nice thing that the aim of education is to showcase to students possibilities that exist, right? Sometimes it's not required that you have in-depth knowledge on every field. But if you show them what is possible, what are the different possibilities available in the market, because when I passed out after 12th standard, I was just aware of 3 things. First of all, B.Pharm, then MBBS, and then maybe Ayurveda. Apart from the, because my neighbor was, have taken admission in these things, so maybe dental. So apart from these 3-4 choices, and that was the time when ChatGPT was not there, internet was slow, and things were there. But right now, we are living in an era where there are plethora of choices. And I think education institutes need to collaborate with industry to at least inform students what are the possibilities available, so that they can build their interest, inquire, deep dive, and plan their careers accordingly. So I mean, this is just to showcase, I mean, how many GCCs are currently there. You see Bengaluru and Hyderabad, they are the prominent destination, and all these you are seeing, majority of them are the global pharmaceutical companies who are eyeing to India to set up their GCCs at this stage. Now, where we are coming into picture. So as I said, we are a small a startup. So not every company can set up their GCCs. I think GCCs require big investments, significant amount of investment. But there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies who cannot set up their GCCs. So we are being one of small GCCs for them who don't want to or cannot set up a mega structure like GCC in India. Right? So we have all suite of commercial strategic services under one roof, because we are coming from GCC. The founder of the company has also served almost 7 to 8 years in GCC. And we have all the services. I won't go in detail. And then what I have mentioned over here, All our team members are coming from these big pharmaceutical companies based out of US and Europe. So we started with 1 employee. Within 5 years, we are now 50 plus, including PhDs. We have we have team members who have worked in these many companies. And alongside that, on the right side, if you see, this is the initiative which I'm very proud to talk about. So that's called Brick Academy. So when I say that what academia has to take a step in terms of educating students about possibilities from industry side, right? We have already taken this step. So we have set up this platform called as Brick Academy. There is a website for that. We are on LinkedIn. We are also on YouTube. You can type Brick Academy and you will get all the details. So it's an educational initiative, not for profit, by AdametNext to make sure that the pharmaceutical community of pharma students, right, is aware of all the possibilities that exist today. So we invite a lot of industry experts. We engage them through live webinar. It's free. So we have a webinar today itself at 7:30 where an expert from US is going to talk about what's the scope in the pharmaceutical industry. So that's we called as Brick Academy. And so far we have been recruiting as well from these institutes that you are seeing. IIHMR Jaipur is there, Jamia Hamdard, Dipsar, Naipur, Ahmedabad, Mohali, Hyderabad. So students from these institutes actively participate in all the Brick initiatives. And I am also MBA from Naipur, Mohali, which is one of the premier institutes in pharma. And last but not the least, this gentleman I was talking about, he is the founder of AdametNext, and he is also a Naipurite, and also have studied overseas. And he is the first individual to be selected by an eminent podcaster of coaching for leaders, right? So he select a cohort from entire world. And for the first time, he has selected one individual from India, and he is that guy. He couldn't be here, so I am just proxying for him. And on the top, you can see the podcast, right? So any of you, right, students and entrepreneurs, this is the podcast you should listen to. It's recently released on YouTube, but it talks beautifully about some of the leadership aspect, some of the entrepreneurs. I think yesterday also this was highlighted, that it's not just about that we create jobs, but we create a mindset that produces more entrepreneurs from this country, right? So in case, if you wish, you aspire to start something of your own, I think it's very relevant to listen to his journey, his experiences, because it's completely bootstrapped startup. And this article snapshot, recently he has published an article on GCCs. So if you want to inquire or know about what's the possibilities with GCCs, you can read this article. It's in Financial World, and you will get the link from Google. And this is our team. You can see agile, young, and a dynamic team. And if any of you would like to collaborate with us, so we are, as a part of Brick Academy, we are also developing some courses which is very relevant to pharma students. And we are also seeking for platforms where we can host these courses online. And we also want to partner with pharma institutes, as I said, who wants to opt in for an optional curriculum which is industry relevant and which can get them internship opportunities and get them placement opportunities. So with that, I'll keep it short and brief. Thank you so much for patiently listening to me. Signing off, and you type Brick Academy on LinkedIn and YouTube, and you'll be able to see all the podcasts that we have delivered so far. Thank you so much.
Indie Global Media Network, taking innovation, collaboration, and growth to the forefront.